Today, we're just going to walk you through some high-level things that we've been developing for the last 4 years. Nothing in great detail, but we're always here for a chat if anyone needs to go deeper and want to learn more. But the reason I founded Pixel Boss Group 4 years ago was to develop an ecosystem that was very, I guess, different to what's in the market at the moment, whether you are in music, fashion, travel, sport, a Solana project, whether you're running any project whatsoever. We depend on third-party platforms like Google, like Meta, like Discord. And Arthur, mate, your first cab off the rank there.
Yeah, thanks, Ivan. So my name's Arthur. I've been working with SaaS companies for about 20 years now, helping them scale, grow, go global, and also de-risk the execution. So avoiding security blunders and compliance blunders that usually happen. That's me.
Hey, Mike Sexton, I'm CTO. I've spent 30 years in big corporate companies in Australia and around the world, Telstra, NAB, Commonwealth Bank. I got obsessed with crypto in 2016, ran a few little Bitcoin miners at home, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. And yes, now I'm in the crypto and AI world, which I'm loving. Lynn.
Hey, I'm Lynn. I'm Ops Manager at Pixel. So I've been with the company 3 years now, and I oversee of our stakeholder project and recently on our Swift SaaS platform on all the technical delivery, working with our dev team in Vietnam.
Hi there, I'm John Forfa, Web3 lead. I've been in Web3 for about 7 years, also in AI, and excited to bring a lot of Solana knowledge to this project. I started the Solana Australia community back in 2021 and been blogging about and following Solana since 2020, since Genesis.
Awesome. Thank you. So for myself, when I launched Pixel Boss, it was very much about the excitement of blockchain and Web3 and NFTs and crypto, and went down every rabbit hole one can imagine. And about 3 years ago, we did a complete reset, thought we all talk about it, it's time to do it. And then what that means to me and what we're building and what we want you guys to join us to is remove friction from the whole idea of what this looks like in the market, because there's a lot of different things out there. The one thing, one of our things that you'll see is one click you're in. We want people to participate in a moment and an experience with a brand or a creator that matters something to them and be part of that community, just like that. And then what we've built is the smarts with people like Mike and Arthur and others, the ability to build that's in a way that we can scale securely. And that's really important, because I hear every other day, oh, how trains, it's decentralized, it does this or that, it's safe. And I've never been more rug pulled in my fucking life. I've had more go wrong in Web3 than I have in Web2. And that's because of my own stupid doing, though. That's because I was clicking on things I shouldn't click on. I was uneducated about where to step, where not to step. And we've built a world where people can just do what they want to do, knowing that they're in an environment that is well managed and so forth. So let's kick off. I've touched on what ZPEi is, but ultimately our whole idea with ZPEi is how we tokenize data. Now, at the moment, whether you're a national or global brand, regardless of industry, you are basically got organic, mostly paid. And what that means is that when you're on Meta or Google or wherever you are, or print or radio or in stadium or in store, you're spending a lot of money trying to gain some attention in order to create traction, therefore a business that's sustainable. Now, that's fundamentally globally known as third-party data, which means absolutely sweet zero. You know nothing about your customer, because it's not the world that's been built before us. And that is where they've built engines that they drive and they can switch you on and off at any given point. With our ecosystem, we take you from third party to first, and that's something we can explain later. The other cool thing about our coin is how you can now start rewarding community and creating an economy for your business, your brand, and your community, these are the 4 key pillars that govern our world. And I'm just going to remind everyone that under every pillar or everything we do is always a token waiting to be deployed where it belongs. And what I mean by that is the coin that either the brand are using or its community are benefiting from. And it's that direct line of sight that help us create zero-party data. And not to turn this into a data rant, but what most people don't realize is zero-party data is ultimately, in my point of view, the most valuable data set on the planet, because it's based on the opposite of Meta and Google, of tracking and cooking and following and fucking giving you shit you don't want. Zero-party data is when you rock up to a party whether it is knitting or building spaceships, no matter the community, you're part of something that you want to be a part of. So when you go serve something that you want to do, you opt in. So the idea is that you volunteer information based on your preferences. So the data gets stronger and better for everybody. And that's wildly important. So one of the first things that we identified about 4 years ago, we're very lucky because we've been around the block as business founders and run and organizations many times before. So as you grow older, the benefit with that is that your mates are running businesses or you've got relationships in market where you want to create an impact. And as an example, we met with the guys at Murdoch Children's Research Institute through 1 degree of separation. We're sitting at a boardroom with Australia Post, and for those outside of Australia, they are basically government owned and they have data on every single person in the country, always. The biggest problem with them was we have data, and I've got this the wrong way around, but my point being is about evolving. The second point here about evolving data, when you have data and all you could ever do is send them an email and all you can send them is a text. Now with our ecosystem, it's about evolving that relationship. Equally, going back to the top point, sales data, most people use them for P&L or to restock whatever they do. They don't have the ability to do much with it because of governance and laws and so forth. I'm proud to say that we've come up with some really clever way of evolving data in a way that's done with consent and with intent. And that's really powerful. The omni-channel one I talked to before. So whether you're running a campaign online, paid or organic or whatever it may be, you now have the idea of invites, not ads. And this is extremely important. Anyone, whether you're running a project, doesn't matter if it's to Web 2 fashion, doesn't matter what it is. But my point being is, you now have the ability to invite people to participate, and then that's when you get them into your ecosystem, into your world. For those that have been following what we've been doing at Pixel Boss with Swift Engagement Software, the last 24 months have been very much, the future of loyalty and this, that, and the other. And yes, loyalty is really important, and there's a lot of important things about loyalty. But the one thing that every loyalty program has globally, it's fundamentally built around points and discounts. And we're saying, hey, those things are important, but that's where we create bridges to create moments and experiences.
So I'll just do a quick product demo on our Swift engagement software just to connect ZPEi and Swift. So Swift is a SaaS platform for creating loyalty and engagement with customer. And ZPEi is the engine that underpins all the power on how we can transform data into evolving insight that can inform the next interaction with the customer. So this is the product model that we did for Beyond the Valley, the music festival in the entertainment industry, but it could be applied very versatile for any other industry as well. For example, if it's a drinks company that want to know who is buying their beers, or it is a artist that want to interact with the fans in a deeper level. With Swift, then we want to challenge the traditional approach in marketing, which currently is focused on reach. So any of the ads that is running on social media or outdoor banner, it's all about how many people have views the ad, but not actually engaging with the brand. By creating invite, not ads, we want our client to create actionable items, which is invite for the viewers to transform into a member of the ecosystem. And therefore you identify the person and you can continue to collect more data to build a profile about them and continue to engage with them directly through the Swift platform. So we want to make the onboarding journey very easy because the whole idea is with one click, you're in. So once you get the person inside the ecosystem and sign up to become a member, you then can continue to do a lot of fun things with them. The onboarding journey will be easy. So it will be either like QR code in person or will just be the call to actions on an EDM, which is one click and sign up. The end user will have access to their own member profile, which is an example here. So because Beyond the Valley is a music festival, so all of these current demo is about the fans and how do they engage with different artists within the festival. Under the wallet sections, then we have two main things. The first one is a connection to e-commerce with our partner Tyro. So with this one, then we can track all of the spending online, but Tyro, their main business is on airports as well. We have these features called Clap linking identification, which means like anyone that goes into an in-store airport, if they paid with a credit card, we don't need to show any of the loyalty card. We can identify the credit card details and link that to the member profile to accumulate any of the points or any of the additional perks that they can earn from that purchase. And the other one is the membership card, which it will live inside the user Apple or Google wallet, and we can send direct notification to the user's phone as well. We have sections in here for the fans to add their favorite artists, and based on this data in here, which is another data point, then we can push the relevant campaign or offer that is within these artists that they have registered a interest for. And wallet board is another feature and functions where the user can upload their receipt, video, and photos. The main invasion point is the asset section. So this is where all of the campaign will live. As a brand using the Swift SaaS platform, then they can push campaign directly to the member profile, but it's also on a personalized level as well. So throughout the more interaction that the brand have with their fans, they will build out different segmentations. So whether it's be a group of people that more interested in going into the festival in person, or they're more interested in engaging with the food vendors or the different artists, all of those data will inform the different interest groups, and the brand can choose different campaign to be relevant to the group interest, and therefore push it directly to the member profile. Will be deeper engagement because it's not like one offer that fits everyone on the database. And so that is the end user journey. And for a brand to create that member profile, then they have access to the Swift SaaS Studio when there's a whole lot of tools that they can use. So we design our system as a modular platform, which means this feature and function is a modules, and you can add or delete the modules that you don't need. The profile is very versatile to fit with the industry needs, depends on whether they are entertainment, sport, fashions, and they can customize the different themes, template, over the colors, over logo to be on brand as well. So that is the first step on Swift, which is you design the member profile, you design your wallet pass, and then you publish it to the platform, to the website. So Swift Core is designed as a plugin on the current website so that it doesn't interrupt the current user journey. So anywhere, whether it's be like WordPress or a custom build website, it will just be a simple HTML code that the brand can embed it on their website to create the member profile. And once it is embedded, it's launched, it's time to create campaign. So inside the Swift Studio SaaS platform, then the brand can view all of their current campaign and create a new campaign directly to the user. For these sections on loyalty, so for traditional loyalty, then it mostly points. You have to spend like $100 or $200 in order to earn a $5 discount. So that is the current way that loyalty works. But we want to improve it in the sense that we want to make loyalty not about transactional, but about building a relationship with the customer. So it can be over the moment experience that a brand can provide to the customer, whether it's be in sport or fashion. So like a ticket to see the footies or a music ticket, all those experience will be more sticky than comparing to just transactional. And here's where ZPEi will come in as well. So as a token, whether it can be hybrid, on-chain, off-chain, or totally on-chain, all of the user will earn token based on the action that they're doing. So whether they invite a new person into an ecosystem or they create more content for the brand, they become the ambassador in terms of like amplifying the message of this brand into the other social media, we'll be able to track all those engagement actions, convert that into the token for the member to earn. And the ZPEi token will be linked to a real life value as well, which we'll be able to talk about it more in the slides coming after this one. And final point I want to touch on is our seamless integration with all of the other ecosystems. So the ultimate goal for Swift is to become the single source of truth for customer data. So currently, then you got your sales data that is living on point of sales. You got your marketing data that is living on social media and all of the EDM And then you have your loyalty data, which is either on Swift or now the point system that you're currently running. So the challenge here is how do we combine all those data into one system to give you a holistic view of your customer. And with Swift, we will be able to do that. So with API integration into either Shopify, Square, or the point of sales, in-store, ordering, or online, we'll be able to pull all of those data inside Swift and give you a final view of the customer journey and all of the interaction point. So you would know that there's a person named David. He clicked on an ad on social media and Facebook. He come into the store on Thursday to have his usual meals. He invite 5 friends into the ecosystem. So we want to continue to evolve the data and to give our customer that visibilities on all the engagement point, and therefore those evolving data will be actionable insight that they can run continuous campaign to engage with their customer. That is pretty much an overview on the product demo for our Swift platform, and I'll go back to the presentation now.
So through here, we won't go in great detail here, but you can see that for those that aren't familiar with, say, Masterworks, for example, they're a Taiwanese, one of our partners in Taiwan. They do a lot of the hardware for casinos around the world. They do payment terminals, interactive kiosks, and we'll touch on that down the track. They're the kind of partnerships that are important to us. Why? Because they get us into thousands and thousands of venues with a very little uplift. And where this is important for us is that now Swift engagement software APIs into anyone's current tech stack in a very seamless way. Just to really double down on why this is important is that we're like a ghost never seen. We don't need to be the next brand in market that people talk about. We want to be the brand in market that solves this problem of evolving data direct relationships and the power of what that means from a user experience and a commercial perspective. For those that don't know, Tyro, the market leaders in Australia in hospitality and retail, they would have in excess of 15,000 doors just in Australia alone in bars, clubs, restaurants, etc. They've just implemented some tech that we requested at the start of the year, which I'm extremely excited about. Picture a moment, you're paying for your beer or your meal and you go click, and then it says, Ivan, here's tickets to the movies, or your favorite artist just released a song. We now all about moments and experiences. With one click, we can bring all that to life. Red Cat on the right have some of the best, most leading major retailers in Australia. Again, with those particular brands through there, there'd be in excess of, I would say, 5,000 plus service restaurants in Australia, which all do a phenomenal job. And no one needs an introduction to the names below. The fact that we've just finished certification, integration with Shopify, we've been with Square for a year, but we haven't done anything launched. We're waiting to go SaaS. And why that's important is that the team have been working tirelessly for 12 months, deploying campaigns. Every time we build one, it takes weeks, if not months. It's extremely expensive and slow. Now that we are SaaS, the only last thing that we're going to do is sign off. And this is where Arthur will talk to this a bit later. It was all around penetration testing and cybersecurity and scaling, and the numbers are ridiculous. I'm so proud of what the team's done, but we can pretty much go live global immediately, but we're not going to do that either. We've got a handful of brands that we are going to allow using our platform in the next few months, and then we've got some exciting news for the Solana community as well.
All right. So ZPEi is all about tokenizing data. We'll provide a centralized exchange and wallet for brand issued coins. So brand issued coins are fiat aligned digital tokens. A brand, essentially you would be minting using ZPEi coin to mint a brand token on the platform. That brand token would align with your brand. It could be a Nike coin. Users within your community will earn those coins by creating content, generating sales, or doing other tasks, entering into a campaign, clicks, maybe even. Yeah, then the ZPEi coin will be used to mint the brand token. ZPEi coin is the core part of the ecosystem, powerful, run by Solana, powerful blockchain layer. Then we'll have the ZPEi exchange. We'll be able to convert those brand coins into fiat. We'll have a debit card that's available to each of the brand. It will be a branded debit card using Visa or MasterCard. And then the ZPEi token, all powered by a Web3 layer.
Cool. I just wanted to add to this. And again, when I was in the weeds and loving everything about what I loved about blockchain 3-4 years ago and being part of those communities, like communities were able to move mountains. And it's one thing that made me go, wow, like this is phenomenal. It's incredible when people move in silos, but in the same direction for a bigger impact. And I think beyond that, what I've seen the last few years that reinforces that even more is a whole streaming community and creator economy. And this is where this becomes extremely powerful. So again, just using the example of what Mike said about Nike. Now, whether it be Nike or whether it be a brand company or whether it be an automotive company, they all lean very heavily. And the ones that don't are idiots, because it's just the best way to build trust. And that is through creators. So and not influencers, by the way. Influencers put that flexing the muscles or adding lipstick. That's cash for comments. I think that's a waste of time and money. But when you go deeper than that, and you understand a creator economy and cohorts and how they run, and you make them a part of your community, picture a moment where you got 20,000 creators around the world, and you're deploying them an invite, not an ad, and they participate, and you can agree on a number, and they're getting paid anywhere from $50 to $50,000 to create a moment and experience and sharing it to their community. They get paid as a creator. You get amazing engagement. Why? Because it came from someone, a place of trust. So that's a really beautiful ecosystem that's part of what we've built. And then the other one, when you go down the whole idea, and again, every major brand on the planet does this, when you've got an affiliate program and a link. So whether you're paying 3% or 30%, that whole idea of affiliate marketing is massive, and I believe is equally important to a creator. But again, it's a different mindset, different idea. But now using the exact same ecosystem, now I can go, hey, we've got a new release of sneakers or a hat or blah, 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 blah. And then you put that out to your community, and you, with intent, go, hey, I've got my hands on this limited edition or this exclusive, or buy this, and then you could be sent a court with LeBron James or Travis Scott backstage, whatever it may be. But you create that nostalgia as well as the excitement of participating. But the beautiful thing is, me as an affiliate, I know if every pair or everything I sell, I'm going to check my bank account and the money's going to be there. Right. So now that's where ZPEi comes in, and you've earned X amount of coins. If it's dollar for dollar and you've sold 20,000 units and there's $5,000 waiting for you, you can use it in the marketplace and sell it, or you press click, bang, fiat. Either, it doesn't matter.
So Ivan might have covered some of this now, but we're creating a unified value exchange for brands and creators. Like you were saying, you can earn and go and spend it within our ecosystem. So it starts out with the brand defining coin value. So we might create a coin that is 1-to-1 with a US dollar or 1-to-1 with a Aussie dollar, or it might be one coin is related to a cap or a hoodie or a reward that they're giving away. It's up to the brand to be able to define those coin values and the earning rules. So people would earn those coins through participation, joining campaigns, commenting on things that are going on. Also, they'll define the redemption logic, expiries, and caps. So they'll all be in the back SaaS system. The brand will define that exactly how they want it. We'll keep it modular. It's going to be fully on-chain and off-chain. People will be able to seamlessly go between 2 and 3, Web 2 and 3. Users will be able to then spend via a debit card, transfer to a bank, trade, or convert their to other brands' coins if they want to participate in other brands' things. So if they earn the coin, they own the coin. Once that brand's given them the coin, they own that coin. They can do what they like with it. So it's a fully integrated system. It'll enable a loyalty, affiliate rewards, creator payouts, and commerce in one system. I'll run through that user journey. A brand creates a loyalty program within the platform. They define their coin value, define their earning actions we've mentioned, and the redeeming actions, all in the Swift SaaS. Users are able to earn coins by creating content, getting commission on sales, and completing other tasks, competitions, things within the platform. Users can then spend their coins on the platform or withdraw it to the ZPEi exchange. Users will be able to transfer their coin to a brand label debit card, and then they'll be able to spend those directly from the debit card or transfer them to their bank account. Users will also be able to convert brand coins back into the ZPEi token. ZPEi will be trading in the open market and on the ZPEi exchange. And then they'll also be able to convert ZPEi coin back to other brand coins they're interested in. We're doing this one over. ZPEi's funded by brands, by Swift. You're on mute. I'll do it. Tokens are distributed as rewards, swapping budget from ads to direct engagement community. Clients can use ZPEi or brand coin within the ecosystem as the brand's currency. A sustainable ecosystem, lower cost, higher loyalty, and stronger insights.
So let's just say, for example, say it was Ford Motor Company and they're used to buying X amount of TV commercials, billboards, etc. That's their spend. In this case, we're going to say to a client like Ford, hey, take 5% of your spend and spend it in your community. So instead of giving the outdoor billboard company or the TV network $3 million this month, why don't you take a percentage of that and give it to your community? So all of a sudden, Ford are now sending you to a football match or giving you your holiday or giving you any number of moments and experiences that Ford go, hey, our ideal customer that buys this particular car has this particular lifestyle. And the beautiful thing is, we'll get to that in a second, is how you as the Ford customer or lover of Ford can opt in and out of those things through there. But yeah, so ultimately that Ford creates their token, that token becomes effectively their own currency. And we won't have enough time to go into that in this session, but that's one of the wildest things that we believe that together with other people in the community, we can now start doing, is creating an ecosystem that we've built, but more importantly, really supercharge an economy that they run, govern, and control.
So a few of the problems that we had to solve with Swift, and in particular with data and scalability, is that we know that we're going to get millions of users at any one time on the system. We know we have to scale correctly. And we also knew that we had to keep their data as safe as possible. The two don't usually go hand in hand together, which is always a problem. But we've found a way to do this. So we've done it using AWS in the back end, but also the way we've built the infrastructure, how we manage it, and how the software is built. So effectively right now, we know that the data is safe. We know how to tightly protect that data, giving least privileged access so nobody has access to it unless they actually need to. And making sure that information, because it is sensitive information, keeps the confidence going in the community. Additionally to that, the scaling, we had to really consider how we scale this out. We could be at a stadium, for instance, and have 100,000 people click a link at the same time. And to do that it's no simple feat unless upscale upfront. We try to avoid that because we like the idea of 0 to 1 million users in seconds. The design of this is built to be as serverless as possible. It's designed to avoid heavy cost, but it's also using standards that are in place as well. So we've made sure that we've introduced ISO 27001 compliance from the start. We made sure that the way that things are built at the infrastructure level, how information is handled, how we discuss things, always considers the security best practices up front. And that's where we get our pen testing done as well. That's how we make sure that's all done correctly and covering our cybersecurity. So even in a scaling event, we're protected against denial of service attacks, for instance. It's all been designed to protect the customer, the consumer, and the brand.
All right. So why did ZPEi choose Solana? We're at a Solana event. I just wanted to highlight why we chose Solana. Solana is fast, as everyone knows. Since launch, since Genesis, they've promised 50,000 plus transactions per second. So what that means for ZPEi is we can reward fans instantly with those brand tokens at events or on sales events with no delays. It's low fees. So Solana has always been engineering to keep the fees extremely low per transaction. This helps cut the costs for the platform and for the clients using it. Also, it helps by building on Web3 and Solana, we can cut out a lot of the middlemen features, again, removing costs. Scaling is another huge benefit for Solana. Currently can handle millions of users per day. I think the last count was 60 million users transactions a day. The other thing with Solana is that it is always focused on future scaling. With validated clients like Firedancer, they're promising somewhere up around 1.2 million transactions per second, potentially. We're fully confident that Solana will scale for a global brand adoption platform. Ecosystem, Solana has always been consumer focused. So they have a huge ecosystem. Some of the brands are on the right-hand side. They are always focused on commerce, on what the customer is touching at the end. And Solana payments is a huge aspect of that. There's plenty of wallets, applications they have that are fit for purpose. They have integration with web payments as well. And then finally, Solana is secure. So ZPEi, we're using squads for multi-sig wallets and tokens. We also use token 22 standards, which has a whole bunch of extra features for token issuance, like extra privacy, compliance, and transfer fees. So a lot of unique business models we can enable for different clients. So why be a partner with ZPEi now in Solana ecosystem? So we are growing, as Mike mentioned. We're launching brand coins, ZPEi Coin, ZPEi Exchange, and the ZPEi debit card. We've got lots of retail partners already, and that's always growing. So there's a chance to partner with those and be part of that brand ecosystem. Obviously, we're a consumer growth platform, so we can boost loyalty, insights, and revenue for projects on Solana. And then we also have an exclusive offer for the first 100 projects that select the QR code. You can basically get a 12-month Swift license to boost your project engagement and revenue. So you can currently join that waitlist, just scan the QR code. The QR code's also at the last slide as well.
Pixel Boss agency and our sort of sister company, Department of the Future, that I've been running for 17 odd years, have been instrumental to a lot of this, the governance, the structure, the flow, the ideation. So basically the engine that's being built has been led by the agency. And that's where the few clients who have onboarded have generally opted for us to try and lead a lot of the creative and the strategy and planning. In saying that, our big audacious goal isn't to grow the next big agency. Our big audacious goal is to build Swift engagement software and the ZPEi token, because that's something that we can scale globally. So the big point here is, if you are an agency and you want to be an agency partner, a step to the front. Why? Because we probably have a client or a project in your territory or in the category that you work in that you can become an enterprise partner of ours. What that means is that we'll do a rev share on license fees with you and anyone that you onboard. And then the other thing, and that's something that's probably the most important thing, is our commercial model for Swift engagement software is it's on average 10 cents per member per month. Now, if you've got 100 members or 1,000 members or 5,000 members, do the numbers. It's actually extremely low for having the ability to build the ecosystem that we've got. We're patent pending, we're trademarked in certain territories, globally very exposed, and hence why we're being a bit vague with how much we share at this point, because we are very much about locking up as many patents in the key territories over the next 24 months. So we're very open to people joining and building with us. So please know that. And likewise, when people realize what we've built, and when you are a brand paying 50 cents to many dollars, in terms hundreds of dollars for SEO, and those aren't in the know, it's basically paying for third-party data. You don't know their name, you don't know who they are, you don't know if they're going to buy or did buy. You just don't know, and you're paying crazy money for that. And that's once it's done. In here, our promise is a very low fee for you to own that relationship, own that data. It's probably the biggest flex of what we've built. Now, moving on to the brand broker. So I've spent 30 plus years working in music, fashion, and entertainment and culture. And as a result of that, built some phenomenal relationships and then put on major events, made big documentaries. I won't brag about how proud I am of what I've done. I am, and that's only because of the people around me. But I now have the benefit of bringing all of that to the table, whether it's a local or a global superstar. So something I did about 5 years ago, I invested in a phenomenal company called EMT Partners, and they are a law firm that their early success before that became what it is was Trent Blackett, the Hemsworth to the US. They all made a shitload of money along the way. But with that came that was the circles that Trent was moving in. And to this very day, I don't know if it's made public, but it will be now. There's a fund at EMT Partners, a $50 million fund in and around the creator economy and how they're investing in major art talent around the world to deploy real businesses off the back of their creds. Anyway, that's what that looks like. So At a Pixel Boss Swift level, we can do a lot of that. At a global enterprise level, we've got like best in class agency that I'm a part owner in that will jump in on that. And by the way, Trent is a co-founder of Pixel Boss Group as well. So we've been supporting each other through this journey all the way through. So why this is so important is that whether you're a small business, you can't afford this, but if you're a global brand, we can move mountains for you. But the good news is, if you're a small independent, we got your back. And that's what the next slide is. Is basically moments experiences. So think of the marketplace. Let's just say you've got a convenience store or a small boutique or whatever it is that you do. You can now go and look at whether it be coffee, whether it be movies, whether it be travel, whether it be fitness, whether it be go to whatever it may be. There's a marketplace where you can click those moments and experiences end up in your platform, and you can now deploy those to your top 3% or whatever it may be. So you can now curate these things for your community, as opposed to give everybody a beer when they don't drink, or give everybody 5% off when they couldn't be fucked for a discount. Now people get to opt into shit they love, and that's where we change the game, whether it be at a very micro level or that one-of-one moment where you're on a private jet to New York to watch Travis Scott backstage. And that's a real thing that we've built, and it's incredible. So this in itself and there's a lot of things. Our ecosystem is exactly the way that we built our technology, and that is the architecture is modular. So it basically, the tech stack for every client around the world will change at one click, right? This can be added to, you don't need to use anything. You don't need to use our token. You don't need to use our software. You might just want to use our marketplace, and that you put that into your own system. So that's really exciting, and that's something that we're already doing in market for some of our clients. This is a really good example of when you get great people doing great things. So eBox was a thing that I had parked with an old friend of mine. Actually, Arthur and I had a friend in common. Fun fact, Arthur and I went to school together. I've known each other for 40 years. And I'm proud to say I've got a lot of those friendships. And it's why I feel so confident in deploying things at scale with people that have a true track record that have got your back. And that's what's happened here. So eBox is fundamentally an umbrella business that's modular as well. So we put in our products and services, and other partners can put in their products and services, and we'll be in different markets around the world in territories where it has the most impact. It's really more the use case of how we want to disrupt major events around the world, in and around having the fan at the heart of everything. But yeah, let's check it out.
Major events don't have to mean major queues. eBox changes the game, eliminating queues and elevating fan experiences. Interactive kiosks across the venue make ordering and engaging simple. You can even skip the kiosk, order from anywhere with a single scan. No confusion, no waiting. Only you can collect your order. With integrated engagement software, eBox delivers moments and experiences while evolving data for you and your brand partners. With eBox, queues disappear, experiences are elevated, and everybody wins.
So there's two examples that have already played out. So I was in Hong Kong for a couple of weeks recently, and we did a trial with a Japanese restaurant that had 4 sites in Hong Kong with 10 by the end of the year, but they happen to have 2,000 of them in Japan. And that's so cool. And I won't go into all of that. The other one that we're now going to market with for a pilot test in a lot of Asian countries, but in this case, Hong Kong as well, Circle K, which is, I suppose, the direct competitor to 7-Eleven. I'll give you one example, whether it be 7-Eleven or Circle K or whoever it may be, it doesn't matter. But what they all have in common, they've all got competing brands. So whether it be Pepsi, Coke, right? So at the moment, we have a moment where Pepsi jump in and they want to do a big campaign, and you all go to Pepsi, to Circle K and buy Pepsi this coming week. Now you sell 100,000 of them. And this is where the whole nostalgia of NFTs kicks in for me, when it was doing what it had to do. But if you end up with that one-of-one Pepsi code that gets you that private jet to New York, that's fucking cool. Or the exclusive, or the limited edition, or the open edition. And what I mean by that is that 99.9% of people didn't win a thing, but we know that you love Pepsi or that artist, either or both. And now we create moments and experiences in and around that particular thing. So now we start to open up the channels where people start to participate. We know that you're a music fan or you're a travel fan or whatever it may be, but now you're part of that community. And again, there's a lot of layers to that, but ultimately we now be able to transfer it's no longer an entry into a prize, and it's no longer a receipt anymore. It's a living and breathing asset that you basically minted, that you collected, that you can now participate in. There'll be a moment in an exchange in the future on the marketplace, and let's pretend it's played out with Pepsi, when the next big thing happens and 99% of people couldn't give a shit if that artist was there or not. But guess what? There are people that love that artist, and now you're getting offered for what you paid for 12 months ago, that receipt for Pepsi that someone else wants to acquire. And then all of a sudden you've got that liquidity on something that was useless to you or worthless to you, but all of a sudden it's there. And there's lots of really cool use cases on how we've baked that into our infrastructure as well.